Hey, Scott Lara, president of militaryaffairs.com and thecruisegenius.com. The three things I loved about Virgin Voyages. Okay, I've got over 100 days on Holland America Line. I got 75 days on Carnival. I've been on NCL. I've been on Princess. I'm 62 years old. And so when I heard about Virgin Voyages when they first came out, my best friend and I were talking about what would the demographic be. Dual income, no kids. Who will sail on Virgin Voyages? Because number one, it's adults only. It is LGBTQ friendly. And so who's going to sail on Virgin Voyages? Are there enough people out there that have the time and the money to sail on Virgin Voyages? The answer to that question is yes. And several people I had talked to that are my age and older have said they enjoyed Virgin Voyages. Number one, for the value. Now, what does that mean? A lot of us who have cruised for years are upset about the rising prices of gratuities. We're also upset about things being taken away from us. You remember back in the day, the midnight buffet. Do you remember the chocolates on the pillows? Do you remember the great VIFP gifts they used to give us on Carnival? Well, all that's a thing of the past because we know why. Because of COVID, the cruise lines suffered billions of dollars worth of losses, and so they're trying to recoup those funds. In addition, they're putting tons of money into new ships, larger ships, because the accountants on the 49th floors of all these cruise lines realize if they just have more people on there, they can make more money or recoup more money, and I get that. So I remember when Virgin Voyages first came out, and those of us in the cruise media and many of us had asked who's going to be sailing. And so my daughter and son-in-law, who are 40-ish, went on Scarlet Lady a couple months ago, and they came back and said, "Dad, unbelievable. This ship, the vibe, the food, everything on a scale of 1 to 10 is a 100. So I took my brother-in-law on Scarlet Lady November 1st through the 5th. And starting off with the terminal, that's the number one thing I loved. Number one, you walk into the terminal, it's a brand new terminal, and you talk about systems, right? Systems, and they've got their system down because you go in, you have your boarding time, and it is seamless when you board. The terminal's new, it's edgy, it's exciting, it's modern. It's really, really good. And of course, with those wristbands, makes it a lot easier instead of having that card key that my wife always would ask me, "Have you got your card key?" Yes, I got my card key. Having that wristband really makes it easy for your purchases, for getting into your cabin, and so forth. So number one is the terminal. Number two, the blue program. And what that is that if you, deep blue, if you have status on other cruise lines, for example, I'm a 3-star mariner on Holland America Line over 100 days, platinum on Carnival over 75 days. You have to email Virgin Voyages with proof that you have those statuses, and they will honor that proof. Now, it's a little confusing. There's several programs they have if you sail during their first year, if this, if that. But I was able to take my statuses. I proved it to them in email form, what status I was, and I got several benefits. For example, priority boarding, which was very nice. Premium Wi-Fi for free, that was nice. And several other benefits. So you can message me, I can tell you all those, but that's the second thing I liked, the deep blue program that honors status. The next thing that I really liked were the restaurants. Now, my daughter and son-in-law said they love the restaurants, the food. I went to the test kitchen, which I think the test kitchen is rated like the lowest in enthusiasm by people. Everyone loves the wake, the steakhouse. So I wanted to try the test kitchen for myself. So I went in, and you walk in and you see these big white squares that looks like the periodic table. And so you get that experience right up front. And then you're kind of like in a laboratory. And, these guys come in like white coats, and it's very, very interesting. And I'll include some pictures on the cruisegenius.com of some of the food, but it's very interesting. Now, granted, and my daughter actually told me this, Dad, did you walk out of there hungry? Yeah, I did. I mean, you're not going in there for a 7-course meal that's going to fill you up, but you're tasting these different foods, and they take a lot of pride in making them. And you've got these different, chefs that have put all this stuff together. But I really like the test kitchen. Extra Virgin was right up there. I mean, Extra Virgin was probably my favorite restaurant because the meatballs were out of this world. The spaghetti carbonara was out of this world. My next favorite restaurant was, of course, the Wake. And what's interesting was that Montel Williams, former talk show host, and his wife were on the cruise, and we didn't see him till like the last day. They were the last night before we came back. They were in the Wake. Very nice. He's taking pictures with everybody. I said hello to him. He's a Navy veteran. I'm a Navy veteran. I had a chance to say hi, so that was cool, meeting a celebrity on the Virgin Voyages Scarlet Lady. So the Wake was, I have to say, going with the restaurants, my favorite was, I have to say, Extra Virgin. The Italian restaurant was number 1. The Wake was number 2. And I'll give Test Kitchen number 3 just for the coolness of it, right? Pink Agave was, for me personally, was not a 10. My daughter raved about Pink Agave. It was nice, but it was hard finding the restaurant. It's down there by guest services. So you got to try to find that. It's like a treasure hunt. So the 3 things I really love about Virgin Voyages: 1, the terminal, just the boarding process, because that's important. If you've been to other cruise ports and it's a pain in the neck, you start your vacation off in a bad mood. Number 2, the Deep Blue program regarding taking your loyalty status, and they match it over there at Virgin Voyages. Number 3, the restaurants, the food is very good. The galley was very good too. That's their Lido deck. Now you hear on all these videos, you flip the thing up and they come over and they wait on you. Yeah, that's true. But those of us who've cruised many times, we're just going to walk right up to get our breakfast. We're going to walk right up there to get whatever. But the taco place was great. The burger place was great. The 24/7 breakfast was great. The sushi. I didn't try it myself, but my brother-in-law said he loved it. You have bagels. You have all kinds of different food. But I want to talk about value for a second. When you look at the value of Virgin Voyages, right? Yes, it is more expensive than Carnival, NCL, Royal Caribbean. But the value, when you figure in free basic Wi-Fi, no tipping, no gratuities. And I was just watching a video from my friend over at La Lita Loca, and he was just talking about tipping. And he double tipped some people. And so when you go to get a drink, you'll see on the bottom of the receipt, gratuity, then an extra gratuity. You don't have to worry about extra tipping or tipping at all on Virgin Voyages. Now, I will tell you that both my brother-in-law and I did tip our cabin steward when we met that person. Hey, here you go. We want to give something extra. And they were very, very appreciative of that. But I will tell you that the value of Virgin Voyages is kind of the big thing. And yeah, you look out there and you see how much it costs. Yes, it is more expensive, but when you add in the value of no tipping, the restaurants, because like on Holland America, right, you got Pinnacle Grill, you have Chops on other cruise lines, you have all these different specialty restaurants. And another friend of mine was saying to me the other day, Scott, they serve garbage in the buffet, not in the buffet, but in the main dining room on traditional cruise lines to push you up to Chops or the Pinnacle Grill. And I don't think they feed you garbage in the main dining room. I mean, it's the food they have. But clearly they want to send you to the Pinnacle Grill or Chops or whatever, especially restaurant, a Canaletto, wherever. I don't know if they're going to make extra money on it, maybe, but you have a better experience. Hopefully you won't have kids in there. And it's cool. Talking about kids, that's another reason why. So I got 4 reasons why I love it. Listen, I'm a father, right? I got 2 amazing kids. I have 2 amazing grandsons and a little granddaughter on the way. I love kids. My wife and I took our grandsons on the Carnival Liberty back in August. Had a great time seeing them play putt-putt golf. They wanted to live in the And the kids club, actually. Is the kids club closed? Yeah, they'll be open in an hour. Okay. And they love the kids club. And of course, that gives the parents a chance to whatever, have fun. But you and I have heard about it. Another friend of mine, I'll say her name. Her name's Molly. She was on a Royal Caribbean ship, and she told me that these kids were in the hot tub all day long. And when she walked up to the kids, hey, where's your mom and dad? And we don't know. And so going on a cruise ship without kids is a huge plus benefit, because you're not seeing or hearing kids running down the halls at 2 a.m. You're not seeing teenagers acting all stupid. Now, I know what people are going to say. What about the drunk adults? Well, that's where it goes back to the demographics, because this is a higher cost cruise line. You're going to have a different echelon of people that are going to go on this cruise versus maybe on Carnival. We've all heard, Carnival is the Walmart of cruising, and it's because people can afford it. Now, I won't say Carnival is the Walmart of cruising, but I can tell you here in Jacksonville, where I live, people from the neighboring towns, McClenny, Hilliard, Callahan, they are, country people, and they, they're going to come on board, and it's something kind of cool to them, I guess. And again, you just don't have that level of refinement, if you will. You just got a different demographic. You got my age people, 60 plus on Virgin Voyages. You have the 40, 50s. You have a lot of couples. And yeah, there are LGBTQ. They're very LGBTQ friendly, which is fine. The big thing I have to give a shout out about Virgin Voyages is their sustainability. They really care about the environment. I have to really hand it off to them. Last thing I want to talk about, the beach club at Bimini. Now, when my daughter and son-in-law went to Bimini a couple months ago on Scarlet Lady, they loved it. It was handicapped accessible, which is kind of cool for those who are handicapped. They have that chair that kind of lowers a wheelchair person into the pool, which is very nice. The food was good. The jerk chicken there was amazing. Lots of chairs on the beach, lots of chairs by the pool. But I'm going to give you one of my secrets. You don't want to wait till 10:30 or 11 to get off the ship to get over either to Coco Cay, to Half Moon Cay, or to Bimini. Because if you slow cup of coffee, ponder the day, we're going to take our time, we're going to take it slow. By the time you get over to any of those private islands or areas, it's going to be more difficult to get a chair. So I was one of the first ones off the ship, was able to grab a couple chairs, and my brother-in-law came a little bit later, but those chairs go quick. So my free advice to you is get off the ship quick. So in conclusion, I just want to say thank you to Virgin Voyages, the crew of the Scarlet Lady, Captain Nick. We did hit some bad seas. We left Wednesday, November 1st. We were supposed to go to Key West. Myself as a Navy veteran, my finger on the pulse of the Mariner forecast, I knew we weren't going to Key West because 30 mile an hour winds, and 30 mile an hour winds, and 10 to 15 foot seas. So I knew we weren't going to go there. Now, Scarlet Lady, I think around 110,000 tons. They have the stabilizers. So it was bumpy, but everybody made it okay. We went to Key West, couldn't pull in. Then we were going to divert to Nassau, couldn't pull in there. I knew that. And so then we went to Bimini on Saturday, and the 4th of November, 2023, and we made it there, had a great time. So anyway, Scott Lara, thecruisegenius.com, president of militaryfairs.com. If you're a member of the military, you're a veteran, you're a family member of a military person, go to militaryfairs.com. If you're looking to do a cruise, email me directly, scott@militaryfairs.com. I'll help you out personally. And for military fairs, we handle airfare, we handle hotels, car rentals, that kind of stuff. But for cruises, just contact me directly. I will work with you personally on it. Okay, if you have any questions, email me, scott@militaryfairs.com. Have a great day. Scott Lara, thecruisegenius.com, president of militaryfairs.com.